Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. Go to theathletic.com/down to dunk and get the Athletic for a discounted rate. Man, we've got Michele Berra here as always on Mondays. Michele, last night we saw a game that was enjoyable from the Oklahoma City Thunder. This was the perfect moral victory for the Thunder, in which you see them compete for 48 minutes. You get good things out of your major building blocks in Shai, Dort, and Giddey. And you get good vibes at a home game in the arena. You get somebody winning $20,000 hitting the half-court shot. Just overall, just a wonderful night here in OKC.
It was a very, very good game. I mean, I woke up at 5:30 with absolutely no expectations. I thought, well, I usually look at the number of texts that are in the group chat, and I said 14. Oh, no. This is going to be a 70 points Embiid game.
The DTD group chat was pretty... there was not a lot going on in it last night. I don't know why. I don't know if it's Sunday night game or what it was, but yeah.
Yeah, so after the first quarter, I said, okay, well, we lasted 12. Now it comes and then, wow, 24. Wow, 36 minutes of real basketball. This is awesome.
It was really great. I mean, starting with Shai just getting on track, right? Just after maybe the first quarter, I don't know when it started to really click for him, but he started to get in the lane. I think, honestly, it was when he wasn't playing with Derek Favors. And that's going to be something to watch for, is that having a big that can shoot, and this is something we talked about it all summer. Like, what would you rather have? Like a rim running big? Well, they don't really have a rim running big, but would you rather have a big guy that takes up space in the paint that's going to score on the rim? Or do you want a big that's going to stretch the floor? And I think with the combination of Shai and Giddey, I think it's quite obvious that you would rather have a big that stretches the floor, because you saw when Mike and when JRE were in there that Shai was able to get where he wanted a lot easier, especially with Mike, is able to get to where he wanted so much easier than when Faves was in there.
Yeah, that is right. I think that like Muscala or JRE are not the only types of thank you, Tyler. I just went off of work. That's why. Nothing special. Anyway,
no, this is hold on. I need to address this real quick. We're getting all the comments in the chat on YouTube. This is another reason to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com, search Down to Dunk, and subscribe, because you get to see Michele looking amazing. Just he looks just so.
Hey, just
so
do a
good.
tie. This is mandatory at my office.
No. You look great. This is my mandatory office gear right here. But man, this is worth subscribing and watching the YouTube page. By the way, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Apart from that, I think that a stretch big makes things extremely easier for a guy like Shai. I'm not sure if it's the only type, because like as of now, Shai is not getting any spot up look. Like no one, and not one. So I think that if you have a big that can like play the post, like be a rim runner and also playing the post, and maybe trying to be creative from there, that is another way in which a lineup can work. But shooting, like it's clear. Like when you have Muscala in the corner, Embiid knows that he cannot leave him, and so it's not. It cannot commit to patrol the paint. And Shai is very good at waiting, recognizing when Embiid has to step out, and just do it. And he did it against, I mean, two of the best defenders. Maybe not denigrate, not anymore, but Matisse Thybulle is very good, and he just had nothing for Shai.
He didn't. He was so good against Matisse, which makes you feel really, really good because there were the first two games, Shai just didn't look like himself. And
Mhm,
he admitted that,
mhm,
owned that after the game. He wasn't looking like, man, like it's really hard to play with these new guys. Which he could say that. He could say he could say, listen, like this is a young team and they don't know where they're supposed to be, and it's really hard to play with them.
mhm.
And that's valid, right? Like that's
Yes.
absolutely a valid excuse for not playing well. But he doesn't do that. He says, I've got to adjust. I've got to get better, and he was better. It also helps when you have Josh Giddey playing the way that he did yesterday. He finished with 19, 8 and 7, 4
That's
steals.
crazy.
He hit a three there in the corner toward the end of the game to cut the lead to 8. Uh, an outstanding performance from him. He only shot 3 free throws. He was 2 of 3. He was he was outstanding. He had the floater game going, which I thought was the most impressive part of his offensive night, is that
Agree.
he has that in his bag. And then he obviously, the passing again was superb. And one of the things I noticed, I went back and rewatched some possessions this morning, and the way that the opportunities that he is specifically giving to Darius Bazley are
Mhm.
about as good as you could hope for if you're Bays.
And
Uh,
yet.
and yet things aren't working out well for him yet. But I will say that they are putting him in position to hit open corner threes and to attack closeouts with passes that are just right on target.
Mhm,
And that those things are really, really important because you want to talk about development and like just having good passes from guys on the court. I think Shai's gotten better as a passer. I think Giddey's really good. Having two good passers that are lead guards for your team is so helpful for the development of like standstill scorers. Like Baze is not necessarily a standstill scorer, but like I think it's what he may ultimately end up being. Dort's
mhm.
kind of more of that. JRE is certainly that. Like, Kenrich, like it's just really helpful for all those guys in their development.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And the thing that I liked the most about Giddy and Shea is that the first two games was kind of like out of sync,
Yeah.
and I thought that last night Shea had his moments, but they also tried to run screens for each other at the top of the key. That is something that I want to see more, and the rhythm was there. I mean, when you have rhythm, like Giddy is such a rhythm player. Like it's almost like he follows his own theme, and when the team is following him, like everything works better, everything looks smooth, and yeah, I think that again by the end of the season we'll see that Giddy will handle most of the possessions that are against like a set defense, and maybe it's
Mhm.
just a single pick and roll, and then you handle the ball, you hand the ball to Shea, and he cooks from there. But the initial action, the initial pick and roll, I mean, you can see like Giddy has such a great court vision. That is, it's just a pity to put him in the corner. I mean, he can relocate afterwards, but
Mhm.
initially, like let him attack, let him create, and Shea can feed off of him. Again, if you move the defense, and Shea can have maybe Breed instead of Matisse Thybulle against him, that is better. I mean, he can beat Thybulle, but can you imagine if he handles like half of his possessions against a sub defender because Giddy already moved the box and find like a better matchup for him?
Mhm. Yeah, we didn't have as many bad possessions, and not bad possessions, but like misplaced confidence possessions last night from other
Yeah.
players. It was mostly Shai and Giddey, which is what you want. Like these are those are really the only elite creators on the team.
Yeah.
And then like, am I just insane to think that the next in line is Trey Man?
Kind of. You're kind of mad. Like I think he can create for himself
Great for himself, yes. Create a
better
shot for
than the
himself.
most. Yes.
Better than
Um,
everybody, in my opinion, right? Who am I missing out? Who am I missing? Dort?
and I think that Kenrich is a good creator for both himself and
Yeah, yeah,
others.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Among the young guys, yes,
I need more Trey Man, honestly.
he's fun. He is really fun,
Yeah.
and he's creative with his like not with his shot, but how he gets to the basket. I mean, it's good to see him playing.
He's
To
tall
me,
too. Like he's legit 6'5" out there.
yeah, yeah.
And he's real skinny and it will take some time for him to fill out. But the fact that he's 6'5" and not 6'3" is
Oh, that
kind of a
helps.
big deal. And he's got
Yeah,
big hair too. Like he looks like he's 6'6" almost out there.
yeah. And if you think that he's a 6'3" point guard, then you're not as concerned about the wingspan, which is not
Mhm.
positive. Yes, but
Right.
he is 6'5", so that's okay.
Mhm.
Um, I think that I mean, the rotation will settle. I'm convinced of that. We already saw today, I think a couple, like it was the last hour or maybe a little bit earlier, that Vid Krejci is assigned to the blue. We'll see
Yep.
more of this. We'll see like a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
guys getting minutes there and not with the grown-ups.
Yep.
For sure, though, in terms of guards, apart from Shea and Giddey, who will play and will play a lot and should play 30 plus every single night, I think that Manny is the next in line. I mean, if you consider Kenrich to be a forward, Theo has been terrible, and Ty just couldn't hit anything from three. So,
Mhm.
but Theo is kind of, I'm kind of worried about last night, and even the first two games. You say, well, everyone played bad to awfully bad, but he
Mhm.
was terrible last night, and most of the
Yep.
team wasn't.
Mhm. Yeah, he's just kind of out there, you know?
Hmm.
And he's not horrible on defense, but he's not
Yeah.
good.
No.
Uh Offensively, you start to kind of wonder like if he doesn't hit spot up threes, it's like really what is he supposed to be when he's on the court? Because he's not a great creator. He's not great in the pick and roll. He's a good but not great passer. I mean, the thing about the NBA is that if you want to be in the rotation, you have to either be good at lots of things or great at one or two things, right?
Hmm.
Like Dort's a great defender and he's good at other things, but the great
Yeah.
defender will always get him out there.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say that, Josh Giddey, great passer, good at other things, but great passer.
Yeah.
Like he's going to play a lot. Kenrich Williams, great defender, good at other things. Teo, what's he
I don't know.
good? What's he good at? Is the question.
I mean, I think that he's kind of lost somewhere because I remember him being way more assertive
Hmm.
during some games last season. In preseason, we saw like the best version of him. Probably one of the
Hmm.
best games that he had was, I think, the first or second game that he had in preseason, and
Yep,
then
I
he
remember that.
yeah, I kind of like, wow, this is very mature. He's playing with so much poise, and then the poise went away.
Hmm.
The shot from three went away, and now like no poise, no real creation, no shot, which is the real issue. Because if you have a 6'5" guard that can play defense and is a reliable shooter, that 5'6" guard will find place in the time in the league. Um, but the shooting is it's not there. Like it's just
Hmm.
like he had an air ball basically from the corner, and it was a
Yeah,
wide open shot.
it was
He
wide
has no
open.
rhythms and probably no. It's kind of in a lack of faith in himself somehow.
You knew. I remember that play when the ball came off his fingertips. You just knew there's no chance that ball's
Yeah, yeah,
going
yeah.
in. Like there's just
Even
not
before,
happening.
even before, it was not like one. Like if you look Seth Curry,
Oh
like
man.
shooting, like that is perfect movement. He catches, he's already moving,
Hmm.
and then like towards the shot motion. It's you can see that the ball will go in, um, and Maledon, it was I think it was a bit afraid of taking
Yeah.
that shot. You can see man, like with man, you can see when it's going in and when it's not. And over the past few
Hmm.
games, you can see like when he has his feet set, boom, that's automatic.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'm not saying like we should give up on Teo, throw him to the blue, cut him, trade him, whatever. Like that's not how I feel. It's
Well,
just
well.
it's just that it's just that we need to see more, and it's clear the team believes in him because they're giving him minutes, and not everybody's getting minutes, which is a great transition to our guy Alexei Pokushevsky, and we will talk about Poku right after this quick break. And we're back after that quick break. We got to talk about Poku. 6 minutes, 43 seconds in this game. Uh, did more than Teo in his 6 minutes, and Teo got double the minutes. He got 13 minutes, 4 points, a rebound. He did get blocked by Embiid. Uh, got blocked. He's got his 3 blocked by Tybal. It's I didn't think he was that bad in those minutes. However, I thought that the assist that he had was really nice. I thought the the way that he played pretty steady to me.
Hmm.
He scored 4 points. I don't know. I thought he was fine in those minutes, and then you just didn't see him again until the last few seconds of the game. And so it's a little confusing to me because this is a developmental year and a guy like Poku should be getting more time. Like honestly, like if this were a team, like if this were the Charlotte Hornets and Kenrich and Poku were on the Charlotte Hornets, it would be no question that Kenrich Williams should be playing over Alexei Pokushevsky,
Yes.
because the Charlotte Hornets would like to be in the playoffs. They would like to be 6 seed or higher. That's their
Yeah.
goal. The Thunder's goal is to have the first overall pick in the NBA draft, and
Sure.
Poku is more helpful in that manner. Now, there's a lot of factors at play, and there's a lot of
Yes.
guys that they want to play on this roster. I think they want to see Vid Krejci. I think they want to see Isaiah Roby. Both of them didn't play at all last night. I think they want to see Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome didn't touch the
Mhm.
floor last night. So it's not like he's getting DMPs, uh, which is good. No DMP CDs for Poku, but he is getting limited minutes. In which case, I said on Thunder After Dark with John Hamm last night that like I asked Mark about it after the game, and he mentioned that guys will be sent down to the blue. He said that doesn't necessarily mean Poku will be sent to the blue,
Mhm.
um, but I would rather him play 6 minutes with the Thunder and 30 minutes with the blue, during the week than just 6 minutes with the Thunder. You know, like I think he needs to. I think he above a lot of these other guys for development needs to play. I just think he
Yeah.
needs to play.
And he needs to play with good players.
Yeah.
Like James Anderson in the chat says something that I really like, and to me, it's the point of this season. Like James says, give Poku some of Bazley's minutes, especially while he's struggling. I think that is valid, and you can also take 5, 6, 7 minutes from Maledon because you
Hmm.
don't have to play Theo. You can play Man, Giddey, and Shai. You have enough guards there. You have Dort,
Yeah.
so you have already your guard rotation set. You can play Poku with Kenrich, Giddey, and Shai as the 4 man. Well, you can even play like Bazley at the 5 and Poku at the 4. Just play around with it. You want to
Hmm.
play JRE 15? Great, do it. But
Hmm.
give Poku that time because I think that um, if you want him to be your creator this season, like probably you'll be disappointed. But I think that it's important for him to learn how to play off of Shea, off of Giddy, off
Yeah.
of Kenrich. And that to me is missing right now. He's playing with this discombobulated unit with Maledon as the point guard.
Yeah.
This will like with like no spacing. So it's
Hmm.
I'm not sure I like
Yeah.
the
I don't
way.
like it either. I'd rather see him start over Baisley just flat out. And the Bazley's done some good things, and he's had some rough
Yeah.
nights too. It's been a mixed bag overall. But, selfishly, for my own enjoyment, I would like to see Poku starting over Darius Bazley. and that's kind of what it all comes down to, everybody. Is that selfishly? That's what I want to see. Because
Yeah.
it's just more fun for me. Is Bazley and I don't know who's the better defender right now, because I don't think Poku's that bad.
No, it's not bad. It's not as physical though.
Can't be as physical yet. Certainly, yeah.
And you can't have him guard like a very strong guy.
Yeah,
He's more like a guard/wing defender than a wing/forward defender
yeah.
as of
Because
today.
here's the problem. So on Wednesday night, Anthony Davis is playing the power forward, and will there
Yes.
be minutes of Poku guarding AD? Like, the answer is no.
No.
I can tell you already. I don't need to see it. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to put him in that position. Is Bazley going to guard Anthony Davis?
Yes.
100%. 100%. Yes, he will.
Yes, he
And
will.
does Bazley give up strength and size and everything against him?
Yes.
Yup, he does. But Bazley's more experience, and they're going to give him every shot. And also, there is some truth to the fact that this is essential. This is like a contract year for Darius, right? Like they
Mhm.
need to know, have to know what he is, because if there's a moment where things just click for Darius this season, and like they don't want to miss out on that, is really what it comes down to. They need to know, and I know a lot of fans are just out, and that's okay. You can have that opinion. Everybody can have whatever opinion they want to have on him. But
Mhm.
but I don't know that I would, if I were running the team, I don't know that I would be doing things all that different with regards to the starting lineup now. However, I would want Poku to play more off the bench, but
Mhm.
I would want to know what to do with Darius as well. I want to see him against starting level players. Who can he hang with? Who is he not able to hang with? Like, give
Yeah.
me a sample size. Like, give me a 50 game sample size of who Darius is playing against, how he looked against these players. Who is he better than at the 4 position? Is it nobody? Because perhaps it's nobody. Like, that
Yeah.
could be the answer that you get to after 50 games. And if that's the case, we're not going to extend him.
Yes.
We're going to
No,
even
it
let it.
makes
We're
sense.
even going to do like the qualifying offer with him or something like that. Like we don't need to do this song and dance with Darius. Or maybe there's somebody that is interested in him and will give us a top 20 protected first round pick for Darius, which seems insane to me today.
Mhm.
But perhaps that's out there. Then you go ahead and go do that. But I think that it just all comes down to, like, you just need to know. Like, you just have to know beyond the shadow of the doubt, especially with these young guys, what to do. They have more time with Poku. They've got
Yes,
more
they have.
time to figure it out and to slow play it, and frankly, we don't know what he's working on in practice. We don't know
Mhm.
what he's working on in the weight room. We don't know what the trainers are saying.
Yeah.
We don't we are operating with such a small amount of information. This isn't just like 2K where it's like, let me set the rotation and let's just go have
Yeah.
fun. Like there's real like human body development to do with Poku, Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's
Still,
the way that
still,
it
it,
is.
it is a little bit weird. Let's put it this way: that is, the 6 is very low,
It's too
even
low.
accounting everything. So, I'm
It's too
fine
low.
to. I agree that you need to know about Paisley, and there are moments where Paisley does very good things on the court. Not too many. And with him, same thing that we said for Maledon. I mean, the 3 ball has to fall in order for Paisley to be um, a better player. I remember in the first year being obsessed by the fact that that guy couldn't finish. But hey, the 3 looked good, and now we are kind of at the opposite of the spectrum. It is
Yep.
weird.
He's trying to dunk things more than just like, he would get to the rim and just try to lay it up, or would
Now
get there
is
and throw things up. Now he's like, all right, I'm just going to dunk it when I get there,
yeah,
which is
which is
great.
good.
That's what he
Yeah.
should do. Now, if we can just
Yeah.
get the 3 ball back that he had his rookie season, then you're talking about a very helpful player. Like if he's
Yes.
hitting 38% of his threes and attacking a
Whoa.
closeout like that, like that's a real player. And the
Yes.
fact is, like he I think he has it in him to do that, and he's got to put it together. And if we could be at game 45 and we're like, wow, like man, Baze is taking 4 threes a game. He's hitting 38%. He's
Mhm.
averaging 12 points per game on 45% from the field, 38% from three. Like, wow, what a nice
Yeah.
step forward. And
Yes.
would things have to be that different than they are now, besides just the ball going in the hoop? Like, not
Yeah.
really. Not really
Yeah.
that different, because he's doing the things in transition you want him to do. Now,
Yes.
should he be trying to dunk on Embiid? Like, it could have been an amazing moment, but it was like one of those like 1% moments where it's like,
Yeah.
man, 1% chance that you're going to do this, Baze. But there is some excitement in that he is willing to go for those kind of things overall. But the Baze conversation is an interesting one. The Poku one is a simple one to me.
Mhm.
It's play him 20 minutes with the big guys,
Yeah.
or send him to the blue.
Yeah. It feels a little bit like a demotion if you do it this year, more than last year. But hey, if that is the best way to give him time,
We don't know where he is developmentally.
yeah. You know,
We just don't know.
it is true. It is true. I hope that they will give him 15/20 with good players around him.
Yeah.
To me, it makes so much sense to have him being the first sub for Bazley. Like, just do it, or
Yeah.
sub favors, and don't put Jerry in immediately. I know Jerry is playing well, but hey, he can be the second, the third off the bench. I'm sure he doesn't mind. So it's but that's my idea. I mean, I just want to see Giddey, Shai, and Poku together. With Poku feeding off Giddey and Shai, because they can find good shots for him. And the shots where he was blocked were like very bad possessions overall that ended up in Poku's hands, and he had to do something.
Well, and he had Tybal on him too,
Yeah,
who has
and I
more
think it was
length
late
than you
on the
think.
clock.
It's late in the clock. Tybal's on him. He's got to put something up. His release is still lower than it needs to be. There are a lot of factors that led to that happening. I'm with you. I would, if it were me choosing, I would choose 20 minutes with the Thunder rather than
Yeah,
35
yeah,
with the Blue.
yeah.
But I don't get to choose. I don't
Nope.
get to choose that, and it's just is what it is. But one thing that we do know is that the rotation's not staying the same. Like Isaiah
No.
Roby didn't play; he went from starting to not playing
Oh, too bad.
because because they're tinkering with everything. And so,
Did you miss it?
is it? No, absolutely not. Is it possible that Poku plays 30 minutes in the next game? Sure.
Unlikely, but yeah, definitely possible.
More possible that he plays 20 minutes in the next game. 30 is going to be tough. 30 is tough off the bench.
Yeah.
It's tough to play somebody 30 minutes off
Yeah.
the bench. You basically have to start them. And I don't think they're going to start
No.
Poku this season unless there's an injury. Yeah, that's certainly what happened. Okay, we're going to do some questions. Before we do questions, I want to remind you guys that we are having a Down to Dunk night at the Thunder Arena on November 15th. It's a Monday. We have sold out of our guaranteed spots for the live podcast. You can still get a ticket and go to the game and hang out with us afterwards. We're going to go down to the court. We're going to take a big picture. We are going to everyone's going to have a chance to shoot a half-court shot. If you make it, you get a cool Thunder prize pack, courtesy of the Oklahoma City Thunder, which will be very, very cool. So be sure that you come. You can still get to the live pod if you buy tickets now. You just don't have a guaranteed spot, and the space is pretty limited. So if you buy your ticket today, I'd say get to our live pod early because there will be other spaces there, but they are the Tap House, yes, Tap House, which is just across the street from the arena, is being quite strict on space. But the good news is, no matter where you are there's like an upstairs and a downstairs. There's a stage that we will be doing the live show on. That'll be the Fry Pod crew plus Alex, which will be super fun. We'll miss McKelly dearly during that. But anyways, it's going to be really, really fun. My friend Dane is going to make a video of that night, so that we will put up on YouTube. I think we'll do the live pod and put that up on YouTube, and then we'll also have like a recap of the night with the half court shots and everybody in the crowd. Like, it's just going to be fun. It's just going to be one of those nights to remember for Down to Dunk listeners. So be sure to be there and hang out with us that night. You can go check it out. Just go, even if you don't have Twitter. Like, if you have Twitter, go to our page and there's the link there. That's pinned. And if you don't have Twitter, you can Google Down to Dunk Twitter, and then you can click on the link from there. Is how you could approach that. Because I know some people are like, "Oh, I don't have Twitter." Well, you can still go to your web browser and search that way. That's about the best way I can tell you to get that. So, or if you really need it and you still can't access it that way, you can email me at dtdpodcast@gmail.com, and I'm glad to send you the link and hook you up. So, all right. Let's
So
try
jealous.
to answer some questions. I know. I'm sad that you can't be there. McKelly is one of my favorite people in the whole world. I want him to be there just cause, but
Hey, we'll make it happen. Not this time. Next one.
Yes, I would love that. I'd love it. All right, let's answer some questions before we go. We only have about 8 minutes left that we're going to do this. So here is the first question. It comes from Lester Freeman, a longtime listener, Lester Freeman. Do you question the decision to have Poku skip Summer League, given that his feel for the game seems to lag behind his individual skills? Seems like he needs some game experience more than skill development.
I don't think that his feel for the game is low. I actually think it's pretty high. Maybe he's not in game shape. That is probably right. He's not maybe up to speed in terms of reactions and stuff like that on some occasions. But I don't think he lacks feel. I mean, the pass that he made yesterday, just take yesterday alone, that doesn't seem like a player that lack feel. He may lack of reps. In that, I agree. I mean, he has to play. He has to play, and he has to play with the good ones. Because again, I think that he complements Shai and Giddey better than others. And his best games last season, I mean, probably the best was with Shai against Memphis. It was very good. So that's that again.
Yep. All right, this is a good one. I was actually thinking about this earlier. This is from @JMS_chemist. It's been great to watch Giddey and Shai, but I'm not sure we have enough shooting. Looking at the schedule, would you take the over or under 2 wins by Thanksgiving? So let's take a look at the schedule from here to Thanksgiving, and you just tell me win or loss. Golden State on Tuesday.
Loss.
Lakers on Wednesday.
Loss.
Yeah, I just wonder, LeBron may not play. One, LeBron just tends to not play in Oklahoma City for whatever reason. What about no LeBron?
Loss.
Okay.
Probably more. I would lean more heavily. I thought that if the team plays like with everyone, maybe they just say, well, it's a game where they don't play defense. Without LeBron, Russ will feel that this is a game that he cannot absolutely lose, and it will be
Super Bowl, man. This is it.
Yeah, he will be in berserk mode, and anything can happen. But most likely, since 80 is there, they will win.
I cannot wait. I honestly cannot wait for that one. Then they go on the road. Golden State, Clippers, Lakers. They gonna win any of those?
Oh boy, no.
Yeah, that's not good. So we're already at November 4th with no wins. Uh, November 7th. This is where things get a little dicey. November 7th, they play in OKC against the San Antonio Spurs.
That's the first win of the season.
Okay,
Mark it
there's
down.
win number 1.
Yes.
Okay, then they travel to New Orleans, November 10th.
That is win number 2. Back-to-back
Okay,
wins.
I kind of think so too. In OKC against Sacramento.
That is a good game
Mm-hmm.
that OKC will play up until the end, but Luldort will come up short from the
Yeah.
corner.
Nets, Miami on the
No.
14th and 15th. Nope. Houston Rockets, Wednesday, November 17th
In OKC or in Houston?
in OKC.
That's a win. Number 3.
Yeah, it feels like a win. 3. And then in Milwaukee, in Boston, in Atlanta.
No.
Yeah, those are all losses for sure. And then they play Utah at home the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. That feels like a big fat nope to me too. So there's 3 wins. So you're taking the over.
Yeah, I think they will end up. What is Thanksgiving is 20 games total or less? 15? How many?
18. 18.
18.
So
3 and
3
18
and 15.
sounds
3 and 15.
perfectly reasonable to me.
Yeah, 3 and 15 feels about
Yes,
right to
yes,
have the
3 and
worst
15, yes.
to have the worst record in the league.
Yeah.
And it's certainly possible. And that's kind of the thing about this early season schedule for the Thunder is that they have a lot of the bad teams toward the end of the year, which is probably where you're more likely to rest guys. And honestly, some of the bad teams are going to rest guys. Like they got Orlando twice in the span of 3 days in March.
Wow.
You know, like those will be big ones. Like honestly, for the standings, those 2 Orlando games in March, they're going to feel so sad, but they're going to be 2 big games.
We'll see. Maybe my preview, I have them at 24 OKC. Maybe they will be at 12 and nothing will matter.
I mean, you look at the schedule and that it feels like 12 is possible. It really
No,
does.
I don't think so. They don't have
I mean,
to
you look at it though, Michele, like we got all that. We have 3, and then like they do have 2 more games against Houston still, which are toss-ups, right? Those are absolute toss-ups. I know Houston trucked the Thunder, whatever. They're toss-ups. Like they're close to the same level of team. But then like Washington's better, Memphis is better, Toronto's probably better, Lakers, Dallas, Clippers,
but they
Memphis,
will win
Denver,
one here,
Suns.
one there.
I know. It's just this is the same stuff we went over last year. But yeah, they'll win. They will win games they're not supposed to. Like they'll win. They'll beat
less than last year.
Yeah, they'll beat the Clippers one of these games. They'll beat somebody they're not supposed to. That will happen. But still, it still feels like about 19-ish wins. That's where I had them. Still feels about right. And we'll see. They may. I wouldn't be shocked if they beat the Warriors or the Lakers in the next couple of days for their first win. I would not. It wouldn't shock me if they did that at home, especially the Lakers. Honestly, I think something that would be good for this young group would be beating the Lakers. Because I think it would get you on Sports Center. It gets you in front of people. You're on national podcasts. People talk about you. The Thunder beat the Josh Giddey. About you get some of that. Like that's good for them. Like it's better that they beat the Lakers and lose to the Pelicans. Like that's
Sure.
It's just better for them.
So. Yeah, I think that. They are shooting terribly from 3. And it's not that they will necessarily be better, but there will be a game in which Poku gets into the game and nails the first 3, and then you win just because of that.
Yeah. Or Shai's not going to shoot so poorly from 3 the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Shai's been bad, straight bad from 3 so far this season. That's not going to continue. There will be a week where he shoots 50% from 3.
Yes.
And they will win 2 games.
Yes.
2 out of 4 that week or something like that. Yeah, because what is he? I mean, these percentages, like, they mean nothing today. Like, the number's so low, it just means absolutely nothing. But, like, right now, Shai is shooting 15% from three. But it means nothing. And, like, the volume there, like, he's 3 of 19 from three on the season. Lou Dort, 3 of 17, 17%. Bazley, 1 of 13. Holy moly. Poku, 2 of 10. But then, like,
Hey, that's better.
Yeah. Josh Giddey, 2 of 5, 40%.
Oh,
On
I'm
pace
losing
for
my bet.
40%. On pace for losing the bet, McKelly, right there. All right. We're going to end it there. Thanks so much for listening. We really do appreciate you guys. This is it's fun that we get to do this every week. It's fun that we get to talk to you guys. Got to see some Down to Dunk listeners yesterday. Got to see Jesse and his wife yesterday at the game, which is really fun. It's just cool that we get to make connections with you guys through the show. Looking forward to making more connections with you guys on November 15th. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will talk to you guys again on Wednesday.